Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Real Talk with Cammie Grayson and friends here on SKSTradio.com. And I'm Cammie Grayson, your host, and my co-host,
Ron Foster.
And then we have Miss Aisha.
Hello.
And then we have no other than Jay Beasy.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we have our special guest. I'm so excited. Krista P. Wilson is here with us today. Miss Crystal, say hello and tell everyone about yourself.
Did it again, but it's okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Krista Wilson. I happen to be Cammie's baby cousin. I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself. I was born in Dallas, Texas, but at the age of 9, my mother and I moved to Diamond Bar, California, which is a suburb east of Los Angeles, where I grew up. I am a Navy veteran. I spent 6 years on active duty. 3 of those years were spent overseas, stationed in Japan. A year and a half after I got out of the military, I decided to take a position as a DoD contractor overseas in Qatar, where I have spent nearly 13 years, little over 12 years. And I have recently transitioned from the Middle East to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, where I am now. So hi, and thank you for the warm welcome.
International.
My gosh, girl.
Yes,
My
yes.
gosh. So exactly what do you do for a living?
What I do, I am a deputy program manager. So what that is I basically run a small city. So the bases where I have been placed are self-contained cities. So we run a power plant, dining facilities, hospitals, roads and grounds, postal, all at like a power plant, facilities maintenance. So of course I don't do that because I don't know how to do that kind of stuff, but I know how to manage the people that do that. So I guess in the civilian term, I would say I'm a deputy mayor of a small city. That's what I do.
Wow, girl, that's a whole lot. Wow. So the defense industry is very male dominant. How you being a woman, how did you end up with this role and how did that work out for you?
Well, when I started, I wasn't a deputy program manager. When I started, I was a transportation specialist because that's what I had done in the military. So when it is very male dominated, and when they see you first and foremost, they're like, okay, you're a little younger, you're meeting with these military officers and you're telling them like what's going on their installations. So it takes some finesse and diplomacy, and you have to gain a tough exterior because they'll hurt your feelings. So it is very, but once you get them through a crisis, it doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter what your race is, what your gender is, or how young you are. But when you first walk in the door, they automatically think that, oh, you're younger and you're a girl. Had to tell many people I'm a grown woman, I'm not a girl. That they don't see that once you get them through something, but you have to show and prove every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how has the COVID-19 pandemic affected your life, especially being overseas and in your personal life now?
Wow. Okay. So when COVID first broke out in March of last year, again, I was running a small base, and Qatar, where I was, so we don't live on the installation. All of my employees live off the installation, and Qatar decided to cordon off a whole section of the city. So, and that just happened to be the part of the city where all of my dining facility workers lived. And so if you know anything about the military, the military runs on their stomachs. If you can't feed them, they can't fight. So I didn't have anybody to feed them. So that was like, so for about 30 days, they had blocked off this part of the city. And then, because that's where a lot of the cases in Qatar were coming from. And Qatar is a really small country. So Qatar it's basically a city. But so when I will say, when COVID first broke out, it was like nobody knew what to do. Like it's those people, let's block them off. And then Qatar got smart, and we have a lot more freedoms in the United States. So and you don't have those same freedoms in Qatar. So the government can tell people what to do. So Qatar made everybody in the country put an app on their phone, and that app would tell you, it was for contact tracing, and that app would tell you if you had been exposed, if you're in quarantine, or if you're healthy. So they put a squash on the virus a lot quicker than a lot of other countries did. So, and then so that's how it affected my personal, my professional life. I couldn't, it stopped me from doing my job. My personal life, I love to travel, so it really cut off my traveling. And now that I've transitioned out of the Middle East, as soon as you tell somebody you're coming from the Middle East, now that I'm in Cuba, I'm in quarantine, and I've made it 1 week in quarantine. So one more week to go, and then I'm free. So I'm sorry, that was a really long-winded answer to that question. So
No, that's okay. No. I mean, it's interesting because we just automatic civilians, we don't have a clue of all the cool things that people are doing for us.
Exactly.
yeah,
You know,
Protecting our freedoms, actually.
yeah, you got, like I said, you guys are so free. You can decide not to wear a mask. That's not going on overseas. That's not happening. You don't have that. You don't have that right to make that decision for yourself because you're affecting other people.
wow. So, Krista, while we're on that subject, how many other countries have you lived in other than the United States?
I have lived in four. This will be my fourth country. So I've lived in Japan. I've lived in Kuwait, Qatar, and now Cuba.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I've been following you throughout all these little places, like, I want to go. Can I go? It's pretty cool. So, as an American expat, how were you received in the countries you lived abroad?
Ooh, okay. So in the countries where I have lived abroad, you are seen, I'm going to pull my passport out. You are not, unlike America, where we are seen like this. In those countries, you are seen by the passport you hold, and you are treated by the passport you hold. So it's not, so a lot better. I can tell you, I have been treated a lot better and been a lot safer living in the Middle East than I have in my own country, which I have put my hand up and said I would defend with my life. And that's unfortunate.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that, Krista?
Mhm.
Please do. Yeah.
Like it's like the typical racism that we have all just, that's part of the Black experience being in the United States. You're going into you're in a department store and someone's following you around. That would never happen.
Wow.
It's just like it's those things, those microaggressions of racism that happen in the United States that doesn't happen that doesn't happen in the Middle East. So I know, like, when my family was like, you're moving to the Middle East, like, can you drive? Are you safe? And I'm like, I'm safer there. There's no bad neighborhood for me to drive into and be carjacked or raped or home invasions. I could drive. I could pull up to a convenience store, leave my car running, and my purse sit in the front seat, and it's going to be there when I get back. You're definitely not going to find that anywhere in the United States.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Don't get me wrong. I'm still proud to be an American, and I would never ever give up my passport because we are a superpower. We are respected overseas. So I'm quick to tell you, you are overseas. You are treated by your passport, not the color of your skin.
Nice. Nice. So, what are your favorite things to do while traveling?
Food. So I am definitely not one of those people that travel and go to McDonald's, because I was like, I could eat that in the United States. So when I do go to countries, the first thing I do is I want to eat where the locals eat. I don't want to eat where the tourists go, because it's just, I think people show love through their food. And if you eat where locals eat, you get entrenched into that culture. And if I wanted to live in the United States, I would live in the United States. I have a wanderlust, a inquisitiveness to see other places and see how other people live. Because if we continue to listen to Fox News, CNN, all of like all news is not real journalism anymore. So they make you afraid of those people over there. And that's
Right.
why I think that's why we don't leave our country and go explore. So the first thing I do is I want to go where the locals eat because I want to experience the love of those countries by their food.
Nice. I
Yeah.
love that. That should be a show too.
Mhm.
So what are your top 3 destinations?
The top 3 destinations, I would say Cyprus, Italy, and if my wait, let me rephrase. No, I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna say Greece, and I'm gonna say Greece because my brother got married 2 years ago. We went to Greece, so that's what he would kill me because he's gonna be listening to this, Cam. Um, Italy and Bali. Yeah.
Well, tell me about Greece.
Actually, I've been to Greece a few times, but the last time I was in Greece, my brother was getting married. So he's my he's my other half. So we roll together. So he calls me and he said, Chris, I'm getting married. And I said, okay, so I got to come home. And he said, well, I'm gonna have 2 weddings. And I said, okay. Then I was like, you want me to at the one at home, or you want me to like? He's like, I'm getting married in Greece. I was like, okay, I'll meet you. I was like, which one do you want me to go to? And he was like, I want you to come meet me in Greece. And I said, yes, that was better because because it was cheaper for me to fly from Doha, Qatar to Athens, Greece, than it was for me
Okay.
to fly from Doha, Qatar to Dallas. So I was like, yeah,
Sure.
that'll work. But it was an incredible experience to see my brother get married and to see all that melanin magic come to Europe, because it was about a group of 10 of us all in
Wow.
Santorini, Greece, watching my baby brother get married. So it was great.
Oh, that's so cool.
It was
That's so
great.
cool. Wish I could have went.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was
Oh, yeah.
sounds
That was great.
beautiful. So where have you not been but planning to go to?
Fiji, Bora Bora. I've never been there. Um, and I want to go to Iceland
Iceland.
and
Okay.
New Zealand. I've been to Australia, but I haven't been to New Zealand
So why do you want to go to Iceland?
because it's beautiful. What I've seen online is gorgeous.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't want to go anywhere cold.
It's not cold year round.
It just seemed like it is. I guess by the name. It just seemed like
Yeah.
you always have to have a coat on. The
Look,
reason why I like it here is because of the weather. The
the win
weather's
the
just
but your winter wardrobe is always cute, like boots and hats and all that kind of stuff. And it's maybe because, like I said, I've been in the desert camp for
forever.
almost 13 years.
Yeah, forever. That's true. That's
Put
true.
on some clothes.
Yeah.
So my last question is, do you ever plan on coming back to the USA to live?
I guess eventually, maybe. Um, I want to tell you another reason what is good to live outside the United States is you don't pay taxes. So I was like, so
Love it.
Say that again.
if you live and work outside of the United States and you stay out of the United States you can only be in the States for 33 days a year, or if you become a resident, not a citizen, a resident of another country, you do not pay federal taxes. So to a yes. So you have to file them, but you do not pay them. So it will be, I will eventually move back to the United States, but I don't like paying taxes. So as I told you, I grew up in California. I have made my home of record in Dallas because why? Texas doesn't have state taxes.
Yeah,
And
exactly. I missed that. Oh my gosh. I missed
and
that.
yes. So I've made my home of record Dallas, Texas, because of course Texas doesn't have state taxes, and living overseas, I do not pay taxes. So
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys, I'm gonna open up the floor for Miss Aisha to do her reading.
Of course.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, what I pulled for you, I pulled two cards. The first one is passion and pleasure, and for you to savor your life. So what the spirit is communicating with me is it's great for you to be passionate about what you do and to have joy, do your traveling, do that. But I feel like at the same time, they're calling you for actually a period of rest. So that may very well be why you're in the spot that you're in.
Quarantine.
You're in your quarantine for a reason. That's why I said, when you said that, I was like, okay, yes, it's already happening for you. So that is why you are where you're at right now. They want you to rest because you do a lot.
When I tell you, wait, I'm going to give, Aisha, I got to give you some background on that. That is so spot on because, okay. Work. No, I'm telling you, spot like I seriously have goosebumps. It's so spot on. Living in the Middle East, I worked literally 6 days a week. 6 days a week. And sometimes it would be like 16, 18-hour days. And when I was packing up to move here, I told my boss, I was like, I cannot pack up 13 years, get an export certificate for my dog, do all the things I need to do and continue to work. He's like, okay, Krista, go on paid administrative leave before you go. And I said, okay, cool, no problem. So this has truly been my rest period before, like packing up everything, getting the movers to move all my stuff and take care of everything I need to do in Qatar, coming here and then being stuck here in this house for 14 days. So even not just the 14 days, even before that. So that's why that reading is so spot on.
When we don't listen to those subtle signs of getting rest, guess what? We get set down. And that is exactly what's happening in your case. They want you to rest. It's great to work and do those things, but you also have to take time and go inward and just rest. Do your meditation, yoga, whatever it is that you do to relax and really enjoy life. Take it in from a different perspective. So not necessarily out work traveling, but just sit down and just have some downtime, So that's all they want.
And then the pleasure and passion card that you pulled, like I live by this motto, dare to live the life you've always wanted. And that's what I try my damnedest to do every day. So if it's something that I want to do, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna figure out a way to do it because this is what I want to do. So I really work for that next vacation. Like most people work for food. I work for that next trip. So, but I was like, those two cards are like, those are me spot on. Wow. Scary.
So does anyone else have anything to say, to ask Crystal?
Yes. Out of all the places that you've traveled to, what would be like your favorite cuisine, your favorite dish per se?
See, that's the hardest question. That's the hardest question. Like the two hardest questions for me are what's my favorite song and what's my favorite food. Goodness gracious.
Narrow down to three. We'll say that.
Okay. Japanese. I am a sushi fiend. Love it. Yeah, Japanese food is probably my favorite. One of my top favorites. Argentinian food. Argentinian food is great. And last but not least, I will say Middle Eastern, and not Mediterranean Middle Eastern, like Middle Eastern food. Love it. A good shawarma goes a long way.
Okay.
Okay, stand on that food. I got a question about the food. So what is the most exotic? I have two questions. What is the most exotic food that you've ever tasted? And living in all these other countries, has it changed your palate? How food tastes here in America and the way we prepare it.
No, because there's still things that I miss about being in the States. So, okay, the most exotic, let's see, Foster, what's exotic to you? Okay, I'll tell you the craziest thing I've ever eaten, because I thought it was crazy, but I had to try it. Was in Thailand. I ate a scorpion.
Mm.
I
Ooh.
had silkworms, and I ate ants.
Oh wow. They're crunchy, right?
Yes, yes, they really
All right,
are.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Oh.
I'm into it. I want to try it.
no,
I
seriously,
want to try it.
it didn't have a taste. It really didn't. So and
Okay.
then like meat wise, I would say I guess it is kangaroo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that kind of tastes
How does
that.
that taste? Like chicken?
No, it doesn't taste like everybody says everything tastes like chicken.
No.
It doesn't. It kind of tastes like deer a little bit, but just not as
Mm.
gamey.
Okay.
It tastes like venison, but
Okay,
not as
got
gamey.
it.
Did it change my palate? No, because there are certain things that you just miss about the United States, and um, and then it depends on where you live in the United States. So like every time I get back to Texas, my first stop is to get me some Bluebell homemade vanilla ice cream because
Oh,
you don't
That's a
because
Texas thing.
you have mentioned that.
because you don't have that in California. You know what I mean? So or the first thing I do when I get to Dallas is me and my brother go to Papados because
Oh, yeah.
I love Papados, and you don't get that in California, and you don't get that overseas. Um, not and yeah, it's just certain things about the states that you
Yeah,
cannot get you can't get anywhere else. And
yeah.
like I said, I love me some Bluebell homemade vanilla ice cream. So look, give me a half a gallon. I'm all about it as soon as I get home. So that
Me too,
so wait
cuz.
so there are some United States staples, Foster, that I can go through a whole bunch of them because like I said, I am a food fan. There's some United States staples that and some Texas staples that you cannot get anywhere else.
Yes.
So Mrs. Baird's bread, Owen
I was
sausage.
about to say
I was
that.
like, so look,
Oh my
so
goodness.
JB,
I have to
JB,
get to
I know
Texas.
you in Dallas. I know you in Dallas. Like I said, I grew up in California, but there are certain things that you just cannot get anywhere else, and that palate has not changed, and that love
Oh yeah.
Okay.
for
Oh, yeah.
those things has definitely not changed. I think you can hear the enthusiasm in my voice as I'm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean,
Well,
I was just telling them they
Well,
took
I'm the
the
minority here because I've never lived in Texas, and
Oh,
you guys just
all from
whoa.
Texas.
oh come on,
Exactly.
come on.
So, yeah.
I'm coming.
The only thing
I was
about
just
Texas,
saying,
the
Bluebell
only thing
ice
that
cream.
Texas does wrong when it comes to food is Tex-Mex. Hate Tex-Mex. If you
Yeah,
want real,
yeah,
if
it's
you
not.
want real, if you
Yeah,
want
it's
real
not real
Mexican food,
Mexican.
go to Mexico or go to California.
California.
Go that
That's
way.
right.
Go that way.
Now,
Because
see, I
all
eat
that,
you from California.
all,
Right.
well,
So you know I know.
so yeah, all that queso and all that nacho cheese on Mexican food.
We don't do that.
No, Texas don't do
No,
that right.
no,
Mm-mm,
it's
no way.
not the real stuff.
Not the real stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Jay Busy, you have a question for her?
Well, Krista, I want to know out of all the countries you've lived in, which are your favorite two? If you
country-
had to choose,
the
if you
country-
had to choose,
The countries that I have lived in, not visited, right?
we can go both.
See, that's how okay. Because I've only lived in 4 countries outside the United States. I've visited like 22 and like 2 territories, so that's harder.
We'll see.
Okay, so let's make it interesting. Let's do
Okay.
the ones you visited. How about that? Which is your favorite out of 22? Come on.
It depends on when you ask me. Because earlier I said Bali, Greece, and I forgot what the another one was. So I'll say Italy. But when you say lived in, if you say my favorite country that I have lived in, I have to say Qatar. I really do. I said that's why I haven't changed my Zoom backdrop. This is the skyline of Qatar.
Okay.
Oh,
Mm.
oh,
So
That's nice.
beautiful.
yeah.
That's nice.
So the
All right.
World Cup is coming to Doha in 2022. So I don't really like soccer, but my brother does. But I'll go for the parties and not the soccer games. But I'll be back in Doha for that.
All right. Well, Krista, stay with us and join us because Foster's about to give us his tips.
Okay, so
Okay.
guys, accessorizing. Do what makes you comfortable, of course. But I'm a jacket just to change something up. If I didn't have this jacket on, I would be completely casual. This did dress it up. just your favorite shoes, something that makes you comfortable. Just try new things. A red pair of glasses, anything. If you look good, you feel good, and you're gonna put your best foot forward. So just take some chances, throw some things in there. Look, try dreads. You know, like try braids. With guys, a nice tie. Not you, JB.
Okay.
I saw JB's face.
All right.
Accessorize. Yeah.
Very good. JBZ, what you got for us?
Cam, I got your thought for the day, quote for the day, however it goes. It says, believe and act as if it's impossible to fail. Does that make sense?
Elaborate for us.
Well, I just think, like, you know, basically when you try something bigger and bolder, you know, just try something bigger and bolder instead of, how about doubting yourself? Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
It does.
And if you happen to fail, when you talk about failure, if you happen to fail fast. Get up and learn from it and move on and go to the next thing.
Yeah.
Fail
Absolutely.
fast. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid to fail, but if you do fail fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every situation is a learning lesson.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Most definitely.
Yes.
All right.
So, wow, great. Well, you guys, Miss Krista,
This has been awesome. Yes.
thank you so much for being on the show. Girl,
Thank
we
you for
love you.
having
We
me.
want to have you back. I mean, you're
Any-
just dynamite.
Anytime.
Oh man, I mean, we really enjoyed it, and you just brighten up our day. I mean,
What are you doing next Thursday?
Uh,
What are you doing
oh
next
yeah,
Thursday?
join us for cocktails and
conversations. Yes.
and
Can do that.
We're throwing it out there.
yeah, just throwing it out there. You get your little glass of wine or whatever you're drinking, and hey, let's just make it happen.
Okay.
Sounds
I
good.
bring Barrett's bread. I'm gonna bring Miss Barrett's bread.
Hey, Aisha fly up here in May. I want some bread with her.
Yep.
Right.
And some big red soda. And some big red. Don't forget the big red
Big
soda.
red soda. That's right.
Yes.
Get some big red soda.
Right.
Gotta have a big red with it.
Right.
Okay. Well, this concludes our show. Thank you so much for being here, Miss Krista Wilson. And I'm retraining myself. I'm retraining myself. My baby girl, my love, my sweet baby cousin. Thank you so much. We appreciate all that you do for us here in the States. And you know, if you ever need us for anything, you ever want to join the show, just let us know. You have a home here, right here on SKST Radio. Until
Thank
then,
you, guys.
everyone, it takes
Thank you.
teamwork to make the dream work.
Most definitely.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom.
All right.